Birds. One of the most extravagant, exotic group of animals ever to roam this planet. Through millions of years of evolution, they've occupied various niches in various environments, conquering land, air, and sea, proving themselves to be adaptable as they are diverse, coming in all sorts of shapes and sizes with various adaptations that allow them to succeed. One of these adaptations of all others, however, has brought them great success, as well as great shame. An ancient art that plagues even our species to this very day, the art of simping. Join me today as I take you through an exclusive look into the world of the birds and how they became the true masters of simping. As magnificent as the vast array of birds are that roam this planet, they, like many creatures, are bound to their primal urges. However, unlike the successful, chatly mammals that rule this planet, the diversity of birds is due to their enslavement to their urges to reproduce. Many of these adaptations solely devoted to the shameful display of becoming complete and utter simps. But what is a simp, you may ask, dear viewer? A fate worse than death, I'm afraid. According to the Urban Dictionary, a simp is a being so desperate to copulate with a female, they become subservient and, dare I say, submissive, in order to prove themselves a worthy mate. Ultimately, these efforts come off as weird and desperate, much to an e-girl's benefit, but contributing further to the male's friend-zoning. This behavior is common among human males, often donating large sums of money over an online ecosystem known as Twitch, in order to gain affections of the bland e-girl, desperately hoping to mate with her regardless of how uninteresting or unintelligent she may be as a person. Birds, however, have become master simps over the course of their 180 million year evolution, developing various traits and behaviors in order to attract their own e-girls through their most innate displays of simpery. This behavior can be traced back to their earliest ancestors, the dinosaurs, who are masters of simpery in their own right, like this oviraptor desperately trying to court his queen, but is naturally rejected for the males that are genuinely less creepy. Even the mighty Allosaurus, the great lion of the Jurassic, was no stranger to the act of simping. Here, we can see this male simping so hard that he allows the female to bust his ass in the hopes of gaining her affection, resulting in his arm broken and his virginity intact. From the bones of this individual, known as Big Al, we can see the signs and consequences from a lifetime of simping. An infected toe, shattered ribs, and a broken spirit. The act of simping has become a mainstay of the bird reproduction cycle, with males evolving various traits to attract females through various displays and performances to gain their affections, and have evolved heavily reliant on sexual selection. The concept where the female will choose a mate based on the physical characteristics of her potential partner, causing birds to evolve and experiment with physical aesthetics and behaviors in order to catch the attention of a hapless victim, female. As is the case with many birds, males will adopt elaborate and bizarre displays of color and feather structures, like this peacock. Oh, I'm sorry, peafowl, I forgot we're on YouTube in 2020. Showing his elegant structures, exposing himself to a female he barely knows in an extravagant display of weirdness and wonder, while the blander, big-chested female passes him by, marveling in his display, but unfortunately not advancing. Various birds of paradise have also evolved elaborate display structures, with varying color and feather patterns in order to lure unsuspecting females. But like all simps, make themselves look weird and freak her out. Other birds take a different approach with display, using their bodily aspects to impress the ladies. These prairie grouse have evolved specialized breast pouches that puff up and jiggle for the females in an exotic display, stooping themselves to an embarrassment of showing their man boobs in order to seduce a potential mate. Other birds go full simp mode, reflecting our own simping methods and collecting materials and gifts for the females, expecting them to mate in return, like these penguins, collecting special rocks for females to approach them, donating thousands of rocks to her stream, hoping she will receive their seed, even going so far as to steal from another to gain her affections. Even the elegant ostrich lowers itself in an attempt of earning schmicks, swaying and flailing around in a dazzling dance of weebery and competing with other males to gain attention. However, these birds have a harem of e-girls when successful, making them slightly more chad than other birds. Another giant bird is not so fortunate, the cassowary, lacking any special differences from the female other than being her smaller, weaker, cuckly counterpart. Cassowaries are the true masterclass simps of the bird world. No dazzling performance, no elaborate pattern to impress a mate, and completely submissive to the females. Completely content to wait and submit to an approaching female in order to receive the smecks he desires, expecting it even, putting in no real work to build the relationship, and constantly being friend-zoned. Those fortunate enough to receive pity sex are left with the kids as she proceeds to find another, more worthy partner. This sympathy can even be reflected in our own television media, culminating in the ultimate simp who couldn't even achieve proper reproduction with a female bird of his choosing. Mordecai from Regular Show, a blue jay who simply knew no bounds, solidifying and reflecting the deep, hardened tradition of simping amongst birds, not only as biological fact, but as an in-depth cultural reflection of how much simping amongst birds affects our society. However, there does appear to be one Chadley bird, one who defies all logic, going against the grain amongst his feathery brethren, establishing himself as a man's man, the Chakana. These small birds are truly baffling amongst these avials, as it appears that instead of the males competing, it is the females who simp for the males, with females competing ferociously for the male's peen in order to sire his offspring, with all the male really need do is wait for the ladies to come to him. It would seem this bird has overcome the strife of its virgin brethren and risen of the status of Chad. However, these are false hopes, instead falling just as low as the lowly cassowary, simping as a single parent and standing idly by as his mate goes and spends the night with other males while sending them pictures on fansonly.com, earning out a harem of both pity-sexed and friend-zoned simps. It would appear that even when birds are chad, they are ultimately subject to the laws of simp. That is, were it not for one special species of bird, the emperor penguin. This god-tier, no-scoping chad lad of a bird lives in one of, if not the world's most extreme environments of frozen deserts and ice-covered wastelands. A male emperor penguin not only earns his mate through time and careful courtship, but by no means simps to achieve a partner, instead confidently and graciously courting his potential mate in a manner that not only establishes a solid, healthy relationship, but builds it over time until they are one true couple, with both partners putting time and effort into their relationship, their family, and to each other, making them not only Chads, but Stacys as well, amongst the vast array of simps and e-girls in the bird world. Despite this travesty of sympathy, the birds have managed to benefit from their simping, a mystery Chadley mammals are still trying to figure out for themselves. Even human males a species that cornered the market on mammalian simping, has not figured out the secret of mating through the efforts of simping. However, the act of simping amongst birds is part of the reason they become so successful, evolving various traits and adaptations that allow them to diversify and thrive for millions of years. A small price to pay for such a successful bloodline.